right, we're moving on to the second part of Lab 1's lecture. We're going to cover the 11 organ systems: cardiovascular, digestive, endocrine, integumentary, lymphatic, muscular, nervous, reproductive, respiratory, skeletal, and urinary. These are the 11 organ systems of the human body. So first up is the cardiovascular system. Cardiovascular system includes the heart, arteries, capillaries, veins, and the blood found within these blood vessels. On this torso model here, we can see the heart right here in the middle of the thoracic cavity, and coming out of it is the aorta, the largest artery. And the heart, as we know, is in the thoracic cavity, the pericardial cavity, and the mediastinum. Functions of the cardiovascular system is transportation. It is all about moving things throughout the body, things that end up in the blood. So gases like carbon dioxide and oxygen, nutrients, wastes, hormones, and heat. Heat is also moved throughout the body by the blood. All right, then we have the digestive system. Digestive system has a lot of organs associated with it. So here we see pretty deep in the thoracic cavity is the esophagus. The esophagus will then lead to the stomach. Stomach then leads to the small intestines. Small intestines then lead to the large intestines. Also important for the digestive system is the liver, which is to the right of the stomach. And on the inferior surface of the liver is the gallbladder. And then posterior or behind the stomach is the pancreas, also important for the digestive system. And the functions is digestion or breakdown of our nutrients, our food, both making the big pieces into small pieces and making the big chemicals into small chemicals. And then those tiny chemicals are absorbed, and then, of course, whatever's left over gets excreted. The endocrine system. The endocrine system is all the various structures that produce hormones. So we include the hypothalamus in the brain, pituitary gland, the thyroid gland found here in the throat, the adrenal glands that are superior to the kidneys, the pancreas. Yes, the pancreas is in 2 organ systems, and the gonads, the testes or ovaries. And as we can see, the adrenal glands and the pancreas are in the abdominal cavity. Functions, again, secrete hormones. That's their main connecting theme, and these hormones will then coordinate various activities of the body. All right, the integumentary system. The integumentary system is the skin and associated structures such as hair, nails, sweat glands, oil glands. Functions of the skin include protecting underlying tissues. Protection is a big, big function of the skin. And then also thermoregulation. Thermoregulation, which means regulating the body temperature. Our skin is able to release extra heat by increasing blood flow to the surface of the skin and sweating. And it can try to conserve heat by reducing blood flow to the surface of the skin and not sweating. All right, the lymphatic system. Lymphatic system is a collection of various structures, including the spleen, which is lateral to the stomach, so it fits in right here next to the stomach. It includes lymph nodes found throughout the body, lymph vessels that carry lymph fluid. And the spleen, for instance, is in the abdominal cavity. And its various functions includes transporting fluids from tissues back to the cardiovascular system, so moving fluids back to the cardiovascular system, back into the blood. It helps to transport dietary lipids from the small intestines, and also is involved in the immune response. Our lymphatic system is very, very important for fighting infections. Muscular system includes all of our skeletal muscles and the tendons that help attach them to bones, sometimes to themselves or to skin, but primarily to bones. The muscular system is involved in body movement, so muscles contract to move structures of the body, helps to maintain posture. Lots of small muscles in our back help to contract to give us our posture, whether it's good or bad, and also helps to regulate body temperature. Muscle contractions generate heat. Nervous system. Nervous system includes the brain found in the cranial cavity and the spinal cord found in the vertebral canal, also various nerves. Functions of the nervous system include receiving information, sensory information coming in to the brain and spinal cord, integrating, processing that information, which occurs in the brain and spinal cord, and then sending out commands to coordinate body activities. So the nervous system sends out commands to control our skeletal muscles, to regulate heartbeat, breathing, secretion from various glands. So a lot of very important functions. Reproductive systems. The male reproductive system includes the testes found in the scrotum, the prostate, the penis. The female reproductive system includes the ovaries, the uterus, the vagina. Male reproductive system is involved in production and transport of sperm. Female reproductive system is involved in production and transport of oocytes, of the egg cells. It also is involved in the support of the development of the embryo and fetus, aka pregnancy, and of course the birthing process, the expelling the infant when pregnancy is done. Respiratory system. Respiratory system includes the nasal cavity, the pharynx or throat, the larynx, where our voice box is found, and the trachea. And then here's the trachea again. Here's the larynx. Here's the trachea. There's the trachea. It splits into the bronchi that then go to the lungs. And then the lungs are also attached to this sheet-like muscle called the diaphragm that helps to allow us to breathe. So the lungs are found in the thoracic cavity and in the pleural cavities. So functions: transport air in and out of the body, breathe in, breathe out, and also gas exchange, the absorption, the movement of oxygen from the air we breathe in into the bloodstream, and the movement of carbon dioxide out of the bloodstream and into the air in the lungs. Skeletal system. Skeletal system includes all of our bones of our body and the ligaments that attach the bones to each other. The skeletal system acts as attachment points for muscles. So many, but not all skeletal muscles attach to the bones, and when the muscles contract, they move those bones. Skeletal system also is the framework for the body, gives our body its overall shape. The bones can also protect underlying organs. So, for instance, the skull helps to protect the brain. The rib cage, sternum, helps to protect the lungs and heart. Bones are also involved in blood production, producing the cells of the blood, and also in mineral storage, specifically calcium. Calcium is stored in our bones. Then we have the urinary system. Urinary system includes the two kidneys, the right and left kidneys, although this model, I guess, donated one of its kidneys to someone. You have the ureters, the tube that attaches the kidneys to the urinary bladder. The urinary bladder expels the urine through the urethra. The kidneys and ureters are found primarily in the abdominal cavity. The urinary bladder is in the pelvic cavity. So functions: removing waste from the blood, so the kidneys remove waste products, things our body doesn't need, out of the bloodstream. And the kidneys also maintain proper blood composition. So they remove excess materials out of the blood. They make sure the blood volume is correct. So very, very important functions for keeping us healthy and alive. The wastes are then formed into a fluid we call urine. Urine is then transported via the ureters to the urinary bladder, where it is stored until expelled, excreted out the urethra. And that is it for this second part of the Lab 1 lecture.